Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. It's not all about the Phillies. The Phillies weren't the only team to win last night. Your Philadelphia Flyers are 1-0 in the new era, baby. Oh, what a W in Columbus. 3 minutes in, you get a 2-0. Hey, Sean Couturier, welcome back. Here's a freebie. It all started with Zamula at the defensive blue line getting a good stick-on puck, and then before you know it, there's no defenseman in anybody's way, and a bang-bang pass, and boom, Joel Farabee opens up the scoring. Can't be any easier for Cootsy, man. Put it on a silver platter for you. What a good day for him. Just to get back out there and show his calming presence, I thought. Played over 20 minutes, won double digits amount of draws. I think there's something to be said about the veteran, I've been around the block style of leadership from Sean Couturier. And look, I have no idea what this means for the 82 games because they won game one here, but it was fun. The night of watching the game was fun. And that's all I can do right now is study certain players, see the growth of some young ones. Morgan Frost, but Zamula, hell yeah. And Bobby Brink, I wish there was some more there. It wasn't terrible by any means, but I didn't see the flashiness that maybe I thought I would based off of how hot he was playing in the preseason. He did have a turnover when he was standing on the half wall in the offensive zone looking for the defenseman at the top of the blue, but I will give him a ton of credit. He worked his ass off and then won basically a 50-50 battle once he got back into the play to beat Eric Robinson for a potential scoring chance. So sure, he made a mistake, but he made up for it by getting back and separating player from the puck. And once Eric Robinson gets his wheels going, that dude flies. So for him to have the presence to not put his head down and bitch and complain about it, although they did show a shot of him on the bench afterwards, and he was screaming at himself in displeasure. But that makes sense. My point is, okay, you're allowed to make a mistake. What happens afterwards? And I thought he rebounded within 5-10 seconds pretty damn nicely. How about the second goal? It starts with Travis Konecny in the D zone, makes a great outlet pass to Scott Lawton, who then creates separation when Ivan "I'm-a-bum" Provorov is defending him. That guy's a clown, man. He's an absolute loser. I can't stand him. The fact that he can't actually look at himself and self-assess, realizing he's part of the problem. Oh, they wanted me to rim the puck. Oh, he's part of the reason John Tortorella and the Flyers are part of the reason why I played the way that I did, or you're not good enough, or you're not respecting your others by self-assessing and realize I gotta be better, I gotta be stronger, always pointing the finger. The guy is one of the worst teammates ever. You could tell that the locker room actually cares for one another, whether they're good or not, whether they have enough skill or not. There's definitely a different bond within this group, knowing that they're going through the ringer here as a core, but they're all pulling the same rope. They're all pulling in the same direction, when that wasn't necessarily the case last season because of dopes like Ivan Provorov. So it's good for him, or it's good for me, to watch him fail and be so miserable. It pisses me off that guy actually thinks he has the ability to make those claims publicly and believe what he says. That's the problem, is he believes what he says. He actually thinks that that's true. He thinks that that's real. That's actually insanity is what it is. It's actually a joke. But whatever. Empty netter, he's out there. Where'd the puck go? Oh, it's in the back of your net. But anyway, more importantly, the fact that these goals are starting from your defensive zone. Travis Konecny gets up ice super quick after making a nice outlet pass to the neutral zone, gets the puck on his forehand as a high guy, comes down the left wall, opens up and rips it off the far pipe and in. That made it 2-1 because, well, there was a weird goal that happened after the Flyers took the lead 1-0. Mark Stahl, I don't know what he was doing defensively. The Flyers were changing as well. There was a far pad shot on Carter Hart, and there were basically two guys open in the slot. So that's how the Blue Jackets tied it up. And from there, you're basically getting your empty netters to create the separation. But, we've seen this team in the past have a 1-goal lead with 30 seconds to go, and then we would laugh in pain and misery, and probably in excitement too, because we wanted a better draft pick at the time. But they would lose those games, and it was so frustrating. There's no way. You're up 2 with, 57 seconds left. The other team pulls their goalie. The other team scores a goal to make it a one-goal game. And they pull the goalie again and tie it, and then the Flyers lose in overtime 7 seconds in. It was a disaster. Well, Blue Jackets score. Nothing crazy occurs. You didn't panic. You got the win. I need some toughness out of them. I need some, hey, there's a minute left. It's a tight hockey game. Chip the puck off the glass, get it out into the neutral zone. Block a shot. Get in the lanes. Take away time and space. And they were able to do it. Travis Sanheim, I thought, played a phenomenal hockey game. Phenomenal. If this is what Travis Sanheim is, then goddamn, you got something there, and that contract shouldn't be ripped apart. Now, I don't know if this is how it's always going to go, but I didn't expect him to look like that game 1 at all. There's 2 ways you can go when there's a lot of noise surrounding your name. You either fold and you flop and you're all pissed off and you mope and you complain about it, or you rise to the occasion and you force the Flyers to look like idiots. You play great hockey. Not the Flyers, but Flyers fans who have ripped them apart. Make them eat their words. Go out and dominate. Go play like a top pairing defenseman. No Rasmus Ristolainen today. He's dealing with an injury, which opened up the doors for someone like Zamula. And, I find it fascinating that you have Forster, who's a healthy scratch, and I think he deserved to be, because I thought Bobby Brink outplayed him during the final stretches of camp and preseason and all that. But it's like, okay, Andre. I don't know if Andre did enough to actually make the team in my eyes, but they're going with this youth. They're going with the young ones. He didn't dress. I'm saying Risto being out opened the door for someone like Zamula, who I thought kind of maybe hit his peak. We've been hearing about Zamula forever, right? Zamula. Well, he's had his time. He had his chances, and nothing really popped off. And then here he is playing such a strong game and putting in such a brilliant effort. I respect it. Him and Sanheim both did some things that I didn't necessarily anticipate. But Carter Hart was great. The fourth line was great. Very noticeable. Driving play. You know what you're going to get from those guys, though. They'll rough it up. They had some scoring chances as well. The hit on Werenski from Hathaway, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. I knew what they were doing there with the 5-minute major so they can review it again and then take away the major and give him a minor. It's just a shame for Werenski because he's such a damn weapon and he's so awesome, and I hate to see somebody like that go down, especially after dealing with what he dealt with last season. So I just know that they ruled him out for the game. I haven't really looked for any sort of updates. I've been in baseball mode, but I pray it's not anything that's going to keep him out long term and really hurt him there. But yeah, I thought he hit him with his knee, and it should have been a 2-minute penalty. It was a little late after the puck was already gone. So, that fourth line, though, outside of that one specific play, I thought had a motor going. They'll create the energy. They start that line. They start out the game with that. That's always a message sort of from the head coach to the other team. And this is what it's going to be like. We're bringing those guys to kick it off, and we'll get into the corners. We'll muck it up a bit. We'll explode on the forecheck. We'll bang bodies. We'll get in tough on your defensemen, forcing them to make a quick play. And guess what? When your brain starts to move quickly out there because you know someone's coming in to bang bodies in the corner, that's when a turnover can happen. Scott Lawton had a breakaway. He tried to do his 5-hole tuck. Unfortunately, that didn't work, though. And there were some scoring chances there. Owen Tippett drives the net nicely, and the puck kind of went far pad on him. And they had a scoring chance there, fourth line. You had a wraparound chance. I thought they played good hockey, and Carter Hart stoned them when he needed to. Fantilli makes a pass right in the slot, wide open. I say that a couple times about some wide open. It was. I wrote it down here who it was. Danforth. It was Danforth who was wide open there about, 4 feet in front of the crease, and Carter Hart makes a nice save. Fantilli's a fun player to watch, though. I'm excited to see what he blossoms into. I've been watching Connor Bedard like my life depends on it. That kid is buzzing around nonstop. And speaking of buzzing, I think it's awesome to hear Travis Konecny describe what Sean Couturier is, and part of his comments were when you watch him play, it's not as if he's buzzing around everywhere, but he's just in the right spots. He plays a sound professional game, and it's calming. It's a calming presence. Since we're in baseball mode, it's similar to Ranger Suarez. There's something about the way that the team responds to his energy when he's on the mound because of how cool it is and because of the poise. I think Sean Couturier as 1C gives this team a calming presence. Cam Atkinson back on the ice, and this is them finally getting back out there, and maybe it's part adrenaline and 10 games, 11 games, 12 games in when their body is more damaged, if you will, and just more taxing, and you're playing more games, you're taking more hits. It looks different because, well, when you've been out of hockey as long as Sean Couturier has, your body isn't used to it. It's not accustomed to it. So 13, 14, 15 games in, you're no longer having the adrenaline rush of, hey, it's the season opener again, and I'm finally back on the ice, excited, happy, with a smile, being the leader of the crew. Because that's what Sean Couturier is, with or without the captaincy on his sweater. He's a leader, for sure. And I actually have to say that when it comes to the jerseys, when they did the rollout, didn't really care for them. Oh, another orange and black jersey, another white, orange, and black jersey. They look exactly the same as anything else I've ever watched in my entire life. They look pretty sweet. They look pretty sweet. I like them. I think it looks clean. All right? I think it looks clean. It looks better on the ice when they're flying around and making plays, for sure. So, those are pretty much my notes from game one. New era of Flyers hockey. Samula, Coots, Farabee. It's a big year for Farabee. Huge year for Farabee. We need to get him back on track of scoring all the goals. And I think he can. And I think there's a correlation with the injury he had, even though John Tortorella was super hard on him last year, saying it's not an excuse. There's a difference between it being an excuse and actually having a physical pain that you're going through and having a surgery and coming back from it and doing it in a short amount of time. And I think that that's part of the conflict of what happened last season. But, hey, you start off the season putting one behind the net, and that's a massive start for him from the confidence level. I'm also confident in my sports betting, and that's why I utilize the best sports book out there, MyBookie. You should join me. They have so many great offers, so many odds, so many fantastic boosts. You'd be a fool not to join the MyBookie family. And if you utilize promo code BROADS, that you get a no-strings-attached cash bonus that you can't miss out on, and it lets you deposit and withdraw quickly. Listen to the MyBookie money bag. Grab a potential Super Bowl frontrunner at long shot odds. We're talking plus 38,000 on the Eagles and Chiefs. You won't find odds like that anywhere else. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. They have daily odds boosts, same-game parlays, and you can even take advantage of huge prize pool contest. All right, it doesn't matter if your team is up or down. You can cash out if you're using MyBookie with a parlay that's going on. If you want to cash out quickly and then throw money on a different bet or wait to see if the parlay hits, man. There's so many different things you could do with MyBookie. Promo code BROADS. Check out the information down below in the description. Hit that link. Sign up. Don't be a fool. And now, let's run on over to the Anytime Hotline. We'll rip through some text messages. I didn't give anybody a lot of time telling them that I was doing the show. I kind of woke up here on Friday morning and said, screw it, I do want to talk about the Fly Guys, even though everybody's in Phillies mode. But Jamie texts in here and says, Couturier picking up an assist so quickly is phenomenal, Broads. It's not a goal, but at least getting a point and playing so many minutes is refreshing. It'll pay off for some of the kids knowing that he's out there. I thought we'd see more from Bobby Brink, but maybe I'm harsh after game one. Let's go Flyers. I think you have a very similar thought, Jamie, that I do. It was awesome to see Sean Couturier, and with so many young bodies out there, and with it being this new message and this new tone, even though it's the same exact coaching staff, it's year 2 of this. It's a new step. It's a new leap. It's a new stride. So it's not the same exact message as where they were last year. We want to take a jump, and we want to see things move forward and progress. Sean Couturier being out there, that's why I hated we don't want Atkinson. We don't want Sean Couturier because that'll make the team better in theory on paper. And it's like, yeah, but what about all the intangibles? What about learning how to be a pro? What about what it's like to be on the road and prepare your body and get ready for game 15, get ready for 3 games in 4 nights, get ready to learn how to do this? Cam Atkinson has done it for a long time. He's one of the most respected pros in the game. He's not one of, that was a little insane. It's a little intense, but I think that there's a lot of respect for Cam Atkinson and what he's done in this league. And Sean Couturier has done it for a while. I value that with the young kids understanding how you have to do it. You got to learn by the right way. You have to have leaders who show by example, being on the bench, talking on the ice. Let's say you're a center, and now you get to see what Sean Couturier does at the faceoff dot, who, by the way, had a lot of experience with Claude Giroux, and who is one of the best fantastic faceoff guys we've seen, Claude Giroux. Those details matter. So I think it's great. In regards to Bobby Brink, I'm with you. I want him more flashy, but maybe that's me being selfish. The preseason was electric for him. But this is a different ball game. This isn't even close to the same intensity. So, there's a learning curve involved. Jones says, hey, bro, saw your tweet. Not the most insane question ever, but what was your favorite part of the game last night? I'll hang up and listen. I like that. That's funny. My favorite part of the game? Watching Ivan Provorov look like a bum. That could be a personal problem that I'm viewing their failures and one person struggling as something that makes me happy. But when he runs his mouth as stupidly as he does and as embarrassing as it is, I'm sorry, that takes the cake for me. That's the top of the mountain. It's Ivan Provorov looking like a bum when Scott Lawton puts on the brakes and finds TK, who's busting his ass up ice. Yeah, I'm taking that as it for sure, 1,000%. My other favorite part that's more Flyer-centric is possibly TK scoring with 0.1 second left to get his 2. Oh, you know that he's like, dude, get past that line. They go to the replay booth, and it's super slow-mo, and it's like 0.2. 0.1, and you can see it just scuffle across that goal line. Man, unreal. Those are my favorite parts of the game. This person did not leave their name. Should Torts name a captain? Does it matter? Couturier is the obvious choice. What about Lawton or Travis Konecny? Love to hear your thoughts. I get it. I do get it. I get the talk about it. I get when we all pushed him media-wise, when John Tortorella first got here, about how he was going to handle that. I think there's so many other organizational things to currently study that's not a focus of mine, if that makes sense. I'm so enamored and so fascinated with other questions that need to be answered that when the time's right, like, I don't think the difference in this team getting to where we want to be is naming that captain. I think it happens organically. Sean Couturier is doing captain-like things with or without the C. Scott Lawton is being a pro and being a leader with or without any letter on his chest. A C on the chest, like a true leader, which I think Sean Couturier is, which I think Scott Lawton actually has blossomed into, which blows me away because I didn't see that coming when he was a prospect and when he was coming up into this league. I just thought he'd be a bottom 6 guy, and he definitely fits that role more than anything else. The leadership part, though, if you're a true C, That's not going to stop you. And I don't think not naming one is holding them back. If it was holding them back, then you don't even have a true captain, and all of this is for nothing anyway. So I guess there's so much for me to focus on that, personally speaking, now that we got that out of the way early on in the John Tortorella hire, I'm not focused too much on that side of the locker room. I think the locker room's in a good space. I think they have the right guys talking and the right guys yapping. Cam Atkinson. They're okay. I think they're okay. All right, with that, I love you guys to death. I appreciate it. Go Flyers, man. The orange and black. Want to know? Get that Stanley Cup shine, baby. I love you guys to death. We'll be talking soon. I'll see you on the next one.